What cryptos do I have on my watch list going into 2023? In this video, I'm going to share with you not just the specific cryptos, but also the narratives which I'm focusing on going into this new year. As we know, this year is set to still produce many challenges, whilst the Fed trying to navigate a soft landing to tackle inflation. With that in mind, we need to understand that our portfolios shouldn't be so over aggressive. What do I mean by this? If you were in the traditional markets, and obviously my background was spending years in traditional markets, trading stocks and traditional assets, we would always have what we call defensive assets, right? Defensive stocks, which you would rotate to in periods of difficulties, including recession. Many people are tipping 2023 to be the year we officially enter a recession. And with that in mind, should we be positioning ourselves in also those defensive type assets within crypto? In other words, in the normal stock portfolio, you would look at it and say, would I necessarily want to be invested in high growth tech companies during a recessionary period, during an inflationary period? Or would I rather be in the traditional stocks, right? Would I rather be in more blue chip Dow Jones type stocks? Well, it's got to be the same for crypto. Does it make sense to be involved in the highly speculative, risky, low cap projects during a bear market? And my view on this is you want to look at what are the type of projects which thrive during and in the late stages of a bull run. And those are the projects I'm not quite interested in just yet. So a lot of you guys have been asking me about NFTs, about gaming. These are exactly the narratives which I want to be avoiding for now. Now, this doesn't mean I don't believe in those projects. It doesn't mean that I no longer have conviction in those projects, but it's not something I see as being the immediate trend in 2023. So I will not be accumulating those unless data starts to unfold, unless things start to show themselves. And you can watch those in this video here where I go through which cryptos I'm avoiding in 2023. But in this video, let's break down exactly the narratives I think are going to be the hot takes this year. First up, and this is pretty much the most obvious one, when we started falling in November 2021, I started making a lot of content saying I'm focused on the obvious narratives which I think will do well in a bear market. So I made many videos saying let's get out of meme coins, let's get out of all these higher risk assets, and let's focus on layer one solutions. And those are where I think the money will flow to as risk starts to rotate back on. Now remember, we are involved heavily in crypto day to day. If you're watching this, maybe you're very invested in crypto, maybe you only just started. But you've got to remember, a lot of these institutional funds and the institutional money, they come in when the market turns risk on. So at the moment with the market risk off, maybe they have no crypto exposure whatsoever. So if you were to take it from that perspective, how will they start to turn their crypto exposure back on? They will start with Bitcoin, then maybe they will start with Ethereum, and then from Ethereum, maybe they'll go to the next larger caps like Cardano. So that's where we need to be focused. The money will rotate into, in my opinion, layer one solutions. So I want to make sure I'm focused on having a select set of layer one solutions, which I believe will be able to navigate through the 2023 period. Now, what are some specific coins which I think fall into this category? Well, obviously Ethereum, right? Ethereum is the obvious pick for layer one solution. They've successfully been through ETH 2.0 in 2022, and things look quite positive for them going into the Shanghai part of their roadmap as well. Also, worth considering Cardano. A lot of people are saying a lot of negative things about Cardano, but for me, I continue to hold Cardano and continue to think they can do quite well in this type of a period. Remember, they're not the type of project to move fast and break things. They're very slow and methodical. And in a bear market situation, that's the kind of project you want. Things that aren't going to give you surprises. Also in this category, you may be looking at things like Near Protocol. You may be looking at things like Avalanche and Phantom or Algorand. But layer one solutions is the battleground, right? That's where your smart contracts are built. That is where money will flow to once Bitcoin and Ethereum buckets are full. Next up, layer two solutions. Yep, if there's one thing we learned through 2022, it was that Polygon Matic was the outstanding performer. Through a bear market in which Bitcoin fell from the 45,000 range all the way down to 15,500, Polygon Matic were able to really impress markets despite the fears that after ETH 2.0, there would be no need for layer 2 scaling solutions. So that's another narrative which I'm hugely focused on in 2023 is the layer 2 space. Now, That can include different projects. Obviously, the front runner is your Polygon Matic. On top of that, you got things like Optimism, you've got Loopring. There are so many different rollups which allow scalability of layer 1 solutions using layer 2 technologies. And if you want a detailed breakdown of the different types of rollups and which kind of projects are better versus others, check out my comprehensive breakdown of layer 2 solutions. I'll link that up here for you guys to go and watch. It's on my channel, and it will definitely give you a breakdown of the different types of layer 2 solutions and why some are better than others and vice versa. But layer 2 solutions definitely on the roadmap for 2023. Next up, interoperability. Now this is a bucket which is very difficult to get a lot of hype, and traditionally projects like Polkadot, Cosmos Atom, they've not managed to get huge amounts of attention. But this is an important narrative which you don't want to overlook as a part of your portfolio. Remember, having these layer 1 blockchains which work in silos is very ineffective. At some point, whether that point is now or in a couple of years' time, you want blockchains to be interoperable. That's a key theme and feature we're going to need. Now, when that narrative starts to pop off, it's difficult to say, but I still think this is a narrative to watch out for in 2023. My fourth narrative to watch out for in 2023 is not going to be a surprise to many of you, and that is decentralization. Again, when we look back to 2022, what did we learn? We learned that a lot of the pain we experienced was from centralized players, whether it was FTX, Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, Voyager. These were centralized platforms which we trusted with our money, and for that reason, I think there will be a big shift towards more decentralized solutions, and that includes the likes of Uniswap, CakeSwap. All these different decentralized exchanges could have a positive 2023. Also, the likes of 1inch, DYBIT, Rune, which is Thorchain. These are other projects which could slightly fall under the radar but have a really positive 2023 given the narratives. It's important to remember that when people enter crypto, and we know that the adoption curve of crypto is rising and rising with every cycle, initially when they come into crypto, they operate using a centralized exchange, right? You're new, you download a Coinbase, you download Binance or BYBIT or any of these other exchanges, and you start to use them. As you become a little bit more experienced, maybe in your second or third year in crypto, or maybe even sooner depending on your level of dedication to the space and willingness to learn, you may then start to play around with decentralized options, right? You may download MetaMask, you may play around with PancakeSwap, you might use Uniswap. And I see this curve of adoption getting bigger and bigger. It's just going to have a lag to the adoption of Bitcoin. So I definitely think this could be an interesting year where a lot of people wake up to this notion that we can't be just in centralized plays. We've got to have a balance of decentralized plays as well. Carrying on with that theme, my last narrative, which I'll be watching with a keen eye throughout 2023, are privacy coins. Again, not an attractive theme, not an attractive narrative. Nobody's screaming out saying, I want to load up my bag full of Monero or Zcash or Dash, right? These are privacy coins. But just like we said how in the stock market you have your exciting things like Tesla and all these types of companies, Amazon and Apple and Microsoft, you also have your blue chips, you have your banks, you have all these normal, steady companies, manufacturing companies, industrial companies, which people rotate to during bear markets. Similarly, in a crypto bear market, where we're expecting more pain in the wider global markets as well. These are the kind of narratives I'm identifying as being a big narrative. You saw what happened with Tornado Cash, the developer, getting arrested. We saw the issues we've seen around a lot of the censorship going on around the world, and I could see this being an interesting narrative that starts to play out. We've seen how Elon Musk has managed to create a lot of shake-up over at Twitter. Could we see a similar thing with payments, with more people opting to use privacy coins? Now, we may be a little bit early with this narrative, but these are the kind of narratives I expect to do well in a difficult market. I don't expect NFTs to suddenly go and boom off. I don't expect gaming to suddenly pick up during a bear market. I think people will rotate to the safer plays, to the layer 1, some layer 2s, some decentralized plays, some interoperability plays, and privacy coins. And that is why those are the 5 narratives which I'll be watching keenly throughout this year. And I know it's not attractive. I know everybody wants to be in the super exciting plays. They want to be in meme coins as well, right? But in these moments, we've got to be pragmatic. We've got to understand what is the global trend going on right now and how should I position my portfolio. Now, it's important to note, if the Fed is able to navigate a soft landing, if we're able through Q1 and Q2 to start getting out of these fears, and we start to see loosening of monetary policy and the economy starting to look a lot better with inflation coming down, then we can see a rotation out and start entering into our bull market. And if that's the case, then we can start to see which narratives are going to be more exciting leading into the next bull run. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you appreciate this type of content, smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to know how to navigate a recession in particular, make sure you go watch this video here. I'll also link up another video for you guys to watch, which are my top 10. Yep, top 10 coins, which I'm watching out for in 2023. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.